This is the Louie T Network. Hey, either you're outside or you're
in the lab room.
Who else could it be but me, your man, Louie T? Welcome. You are in the lab room. Of course, I am your host, Lou. Thank you for joining me. Week number 13 in the National Football League. Atlanta Falcons at home taking on the NFC Conference leading Arizona Cardinals. Cardinals lost for the first time in a long time last week to the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle. Another road test for this Cardinals team without the services of Carson Palmer. Keep in mind, he's not coming back this season. So whatever the Cardinals are going to do, they're going to have to do it with number 5 under center in Drew Stanton. So I had talked about this when the injury first occurred. I said, look, I want to see how this Cardinals look. I don't have any doubts about this Cardinals team at home. Okay, they can get it done with the best of them in Arizona. My question was, and remains, and looks to be a very reasonable question to ask, is can this team get it done away from Arizona with Drew Stanton at quarterback? And right now the answer is no. And I asked this question, and I had some Cardinals fans ask me, was I crazy for asking that question? No. Because what you have to realize is teams play better at home. The Cardinals are one of the best home teams in the entire National Football League. But when you go on the road, it's a different dynamic. It's a different animal. And Drew Stanton was a backup for a reason. And you've seen his skittish play this season, and you understand that this team will not go where they probably could have went had they had Carson Palmer at the quarterback position. We may sit here and talk about Carson Palmer. He's not this, he's not that, but he's better than Drew Stanton is. I'll tell you that much. And so this Cardinals team, I said I wanted to see. This was a huge road test for me because the Atlanta Falcons, they're a 4-7 team going into this game, but Matt Ryan is still playing good football. Julio Jones, still one of the best receivers in the entire National Football League. You got lucky there's no Roddy White in this game, and there's no Larry Fitzgerald in this game, but this Falcons team at home, still a formidable foe. You don't want to really go to the Georgia Dome, even though Falcons haven't had as much success this year as they have had in past years. Still a dangerous team, and they might be playing with the most confidence they've had all season long, these Falcons. And so all I'm saying is this is a dangerous spot here for the Arizona Cardinals. Could they go? I wanted to see them go into Atlanta and take care of business. If not, I'm starting to have my doubts about this Cardinals football team. For the Falcons, they're entrenched in an NFC South, divisional battle. It's not pretty. All the teams in the division are under 500, but look, somebody's got to win the division. I said the same thing about New Orleans. Somebody's got to come away with a ticket to the dance from this division. Why not the Atlanta Falcons? So let's jump into this one quickly. 9-2 Cardinals taking on the 4-7 Atlanta Falcons. Falcons coming off a heartbreaking loss last week at home versus Cleveland. Could they bounce back at home versus the Arizona Cardinals? Steven Jackson rips off a huge run on the first possession to set up a Lovine Toilolo touchdown. It's 7-0, and you could tell right off the bat that the Atlanta Falcons were going to try to come out and win this football game. And I know that's, what am I really saying there? I mean, every team comes out in every game and tries to win, but the Steven Jackson breaking off a big run, probably his biggest run of the season, and they don't run the football all that well. To see them be able to come out and run against one of the best run defenses in all of the National Football League, that sent a statement early. And then also, they went for it on 4th down. I mean, to get all the way down to the 1-yard line, to struggle, and then to say, you know what, to hell with it. We're 4-7. We got the division on the line. We're at the 1-yard line. Let's just roll the dice, kiss it, and hope something nice comes up. They go to Lovine Toilolo in the back of the end zone on 4th down, and he's able to come down with it. 7-0 early on. That was a huge momentum swing for the Atlanta Falcons to pick up that 4th down conversion and get the touchdown instead of having to settle for a field goal. 7-0. Devin Hester with a huge punt return for a touchdown. But he's flagged for face mask literally at the 1 yard line as he's going in. And I thought this was all Devin Hester's fault. If he had simply just cut back on the play, there was great blocking down the field. Had he just simply cut back against the grain one time, and it didn't really matter when he did it. He could have done it at the 15-yard line. He could have done it at the 10. He could have done it at the 5. If he would have just cut back, he could have walked into the end zone. Instead, he wanted to keep tiptoeing down the sidelines. The kicker tries to get involved, and Devin feels the need to have to jam his hand into his face mask and grab it. So he gets flagged for a face mask penalty and negates a touchdown. I mean, everything was done right on the play except Devin Hester doing his job to get into the end zone. And so they call it back. Falcons end up getting a field goal. They almost got nothing out of this possession as Matt Ryan is almost picked off by Gerard Powers. A great play by Gerard Powers to undercut a route. And he had it in his hand, but the momentum of him going to the ground and having to leap up and catch the football was too much for him to hold on to the ball. So it's 10-0. Falcons should have had 14 with the Devin Hester return. So at the time, I feel good about the 10 if I'm a Falcons fan, but it should have been 14. And again, Cardinals don't score a lot of points, but still, you want to try to put that pressure on them early. You could have had 2 touchdowns. That would have been a humongous mountain for them to overcome on the road. Instead, 10, they can do 10. So it's 10-0 right now. Falcons up top. Stanton picked off by Louie on the play. And the next play after that, they don't waste any time. And this is reminiscent of the Falcons that went to the NFC Championship game 2 years ago when this team was electric and dynamic offensively. First play after the interception, Julio goes up on top. It comes down with the football on Pat P. And Pat P was talking a lot of trash before the game started. And he was shredded. I'll talk about that here in a second. But big touchdown, 41-yard grab into the end zone. It's now 17-0. We're still in the first quarter, folks. Falcons are out to a 17-0 lead before the Cardinals even had a chance to blink. And so, again, this is a Cardinals team that does not score a lot of points, especially away from home. This is going to be tough for them to overcome on the road. As we go to the second quarter, just as the Falcons are about to put the Cardinals away, Falcons had a golden opportunity to put the Cardinals away in this football game. They're moving it down the field. They're literally inside the red zone of the Arizona Cardinals. They're looking for it. They're looking for blood here. Matt Ryan is picked off by Rashad Johnson, and he takes it 88 yards. All the way back for a touchdown. This was a tremendous interception and a return. The return was gorgeous, okay? This wasn't one of those, out-breaking routes. Bad throw by Ryan to the inside. He picks it off and runs down the sidelines untouched. This wasn't one of those this was a pick where he had to dart in and out of traffic, cut across the field, go across the grain, cut it back again, outrun Julio Jones and a couple of Falcon receivers and skill guys to get into the end zone. This is a hell of a play by Rashad Johnson. It saved the game for the time being because any points there, field goal, another touchdown, and we're talking about 20-0 or 24-0. This game's over. That interception gave the Cardinals a little bit of life. It's now 17-7. But this is basically the nail in the coffin here. You're struggling offensively. Defensively, you're being shredded in this game. You can't afford to have any more mistakes. The special teams has let you down already. Defense has been gashed. Steven Jackson with a huge run already. Matt Ryan is having a field day with Julio. You cannot afford to have the offense turn it over. Drew Stanton's already thrown a pick. And now Michael Floyd gets in on the act as he coughs it up. And that was a huge play. Falcons recover, and they use that to move down the field, and Julio Jones continues to destroy Pat P in this game as they use that fumble to get down the field and end up getting another field goal before the half. It's 20-7, and at that point, I knew this game was over. Drew Stanton wasn't going to lead this Arizona Cardinals offense on a furious comeback. He struggles on the road. The Falcons were playing too well offensively to allow them to come back and win this game. Hell, until late in the game, I'm talking about latter stages, when this game was in control and done. This game was already decided. The Cardinals finally scored a touchdown. They had not scored an offensive touchdown since the Detroit game. That's 2 weeks ago, folks. They didn't score an offensive touchdown last week against Seattle on the road. They only mustered 3 points in that game. And they hadn't scored an offensive touchdown in this game. Mind you, the score was 29-10. And the one touchdown, the lone touchdown in this game, that 88-yard Rashard Johnson interception return for a touchdown. So this offense has been struggling. And you could say it's a direct correlation to no Larry Fitzgerald. I'll just tell you, it's Drew Stanton just struggling. I'll tell you that much. And so this offense is going to struggle. And I talked about them having to get it done on the road because a lot of their contests down the stretch going to be on the road. They had a lot of home cooking earlier in the season. All of their tough matchups were at home for the most part, with the exception of maybe Dallas. The Philly game was at home. Detroit game at home. You know, they already had played San Francisco. That was at home. They played the Rams. That game was at home. Everything had been set up for this Arizona Cardinals team to succeed early on in this season. And so now they have to go on the road and find ways to win. They went to Seattle, they lost. They went to Atlanta, they lost. They still got to go to St. Louis. That could easily be a loss. Still got to go to San Francisco. That could be a loss. This Arizona Cardinals team could be in some trouble. I still think this is a postseason team. I still think that at 9-3, they're going to be able to do enough because they still got enough home games to get them over the top. I'll tell you this much. If this Arizona Cardinals team can't find a way to win one more game on the road, because I just named 3 games that they have left that are on the road. If they can't win on the road, let's see. We know that St. Louis is on the road. We know that San Francisco is on the road. I think they got 2 more home games. I know they got Pittsburgh, if I'm not mistaken, at home. No, they don't have Pittsburgh. I'm thinking of Atlanta. Atlanta has Pittsburgh at home. I think Arizona has 2 more home games, 2 more road games. If that's the case, they'll be fine. They'll win those. They'll probably win those home games. But tell you this much. If they can't find a way to win on the road, they're going to be in trouble. I do not like their chances on the road, especially if they don't win this division or they got to go on the road at any point in the postseason. It's not going to happen. Not with Drew Stanton at the quarterback position. And so I said this when it first happened, and it's coming to fruition. This team is struggling with Drew Stanton at the helm on the road. And that was the thing that I was afraid of with this Arizona Cardinals team moving forward. But give some credit where credit is due. The Falcons came out and took it to the Arizona Cardinals in this game. They get it done 29-18. Pat P talking a lot of smack before the game about Julio Jones and how he shut him down in college. Well, this isn't college, buddy. This is the pros. And Julio lit him up like a Christmas tree for 10 catches, $189. And his coach, Bruce Arians, let him hear about it. Hey, don't go calling guys out and then giving up 10 catches. It's basically what Bruce Arians said. And I've said this before. I'll say it again. I don't think Patrick Peterson is one of the best corners in the league. I can find 5 more guys that I think are playing better football than him right now. I said that earlier when I had a question on supply and demand about who, and I came up with the theory of, basically asking who you thought the best corner was, but I had a different way of asking it. I said, look, a lot of guys had picked Patrick Peterson in a one-on-one situation. Like, I'm not picking him. He's either picking up a pass interference, he's either picking up holding or illegal contact, or he's getting shredded. I've seen this guy struggle all season long. Sans for the St. Louis game where he had the 2 picks and the pick 6. He struggled all season long. I've seen guys toast him. I've seen him pass interference, holding, legal contact, you name it, he's had it already this season. I can name 5 corners that are playing better football than him. He's still a top 10 corner in this league. Don't get it twisted. But he's not a top 5 corner. and he's not the guy that he once was. Just know this. If you put an elite receiver in front of him, he can get it any day of the week. So that's going to do it for Falcons, Cards. Big win for the Atlanta Falcons. They go to 5-7. They're still atop the NFC South. They've got a tough stretch of football coming up, though. Got the Steelers. You still got to go to New Orleans. So there's some games in there where you ask yourself, and the Falcons, get it done. That was a tough loss last week. They needed to win that game last week. If they don't make the postseason, that's one of those games you'll look back on and you'll say to yourself, that and the Detroit game in London, where you say, man, we really blew it this year. We had opportunities and we just couldn't get it done in the clutch. But that's going to do it. As they get it done, go to 5-7, still remain atop the NFC South Division, 29-18. So if it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here in the Lab Room. Come back and join me as I continue to break down week number 13, the National Football League. See you in a bit.